In the city, a thriving metropolis encompassing 1/3 billion souls, a man can change his world as easily as crossing the street. It is a place of a million cultures, the world in microcosm. For some, it is their last hope for survival. For others, it is their playground. And for others yet, it is their hunting ground. Isaac Sarason is a talented hacker, a doctor of applied network theory, trusted employee of British Telecom-Sprint. He lived in a world which 90% of his fellow citizens can only imagine. And he has a problem. His health is failing. His job is on the line. His world is crumbling around him. He wants out. And the street is his only escape. What happens when the life you dreamed of is killing you? What do you do when you find yourself hijacked? Colbyjack.net is proud to present Firmware, Hijacked, written and performed by R.L. Ferguson. Firmware, Hijacked, Episode 19, 31. I shook as I stared down into the alley. It was something close to 20 stories to the ground. I felt something on my cheek. I rubbed at it. Something stuck to my hand. It was blood. Frankie's blood. My stomach clenched. My breakfast came back up. I heaved on all fours. Tears ran down my cheeks. My throat was raw. In the distance, I heard the sound of a police chopper. I needed to get off this roof. Whose stupid idea was it to come up here and travel from rooftop to rooftop like a costumed crime fighter? I slammed my fist into the safety wall, separating me from a long drop into a very narrow alley. I pulled myself together. I had to. Leo was out there. Leo could, probably, most definitely, climb down a pipe. Or he knew, oh yes, he would know, the real way to travel from roof to roof. What if there were ladders, steps, or walkways, which I hadn't seen? Leo could be stalking up on me right now. I thought of Nona, little girl Nona, and her mother slamming little Joseph into cupboards. Shock shifts the brain away from its normal paths, sends you into realms you don't want to think about. I moved away from the edge and poked my head over an air conditioner. Leo was there. His back to me as he climbed down the pipe Frankie and I were too scared to use. I ducked down. Nona came to me again. An image of a terrified girl in an air vent came to me. Nona lived because she hid. Frankie died running. The same would happen to me, unless I became more like little Nona. I peeked over the unit again. Leo was almost down. I ducked again and examined the roof around me. There had to be somewhere to hide. The air conditioner was bolted shut. I need a socket set to open it. My eyes caught sight of a telecom box. I could hide in there. No, those things are stuffed full of gear. Plus it's padlocked. Damn! I had to find somewhere. I might have imagined it, but I thought I heard Leo's feet slapping against the roof. I didn't dare look for him. I looked toward the next building. It was 3 stories higher than this one. There was no way I could climb that one. Even if I found a ladder, Leo would spot me. I'd be as dead as Frankie. My eyes rose up the side of the building before me. 3 stories of windows stared blankly at me. Would I really want a view of a rooftop if I lived there? A jolt of awareness came over me. The building had 3 stories of windows. 3 stories of windows that faced the roof I was on. The lowest row of windows just peeked over the safety wall. I ran toward the windows, looking for one I might be able to force. I was out of luck. A coil of razor wire ran along the wall, separating my roof from the safety of the windows. The windows, covered in heavy wrought iron bars, mocked me. In my mind, Leo was right behind me. I worked my way to the Sheridan Street side of the building. I hazarded a look over an air conditioner. Leo was on the other side of the roof, his back to me. He kneeled out of view. He was checking under the maze of crap on the roof. He had to be. No wonder I hadn't exploded into a cloud of hamburger. I looked over the safety wall down onto Sheridan. Cop cars blocked Sheridan in front of Ivanova's. 6 ambulances were in the process of loading. A crowd had gathered on the sidewalks on both sides of the street. A crowd-control detachment maintained a line between the crowd and the cops at the scene. I pulled back from the edge as a cop chopper passed low over Sheridan. What would a cop chopper think of two guys on a roof after a gang war on the street below? Never a cop when you need one, and when you need one, it turns out to be too complicated. I moved along the front of the building until I was back to the 20-foot wall that defined the start of Ivanova's. I needed someone to get Leo off me. I could lean over the edge and scream that Leo was going to kill me. That wouldn't work. Leo would get to me before anyone, even the chopper, could get to me. I saw a space between an air vent large enough to hide me. That was no good. Leo would check there. What if Leo couldn't check there? What if someone drove him off? I crawled under the vent. It was snug. I barely had room to breathe, but I was out of sight of all but the closest inspection. I toggled into the Opumpopol null, praying that it hadn't been damaged. The Opumpopol null came to life before my eyes. Frankie said it had the ability to spoof its network ID. I disconnected it from the camera network and opened the network scanning software. I didn't have time to discover what the software could do. I needed answers now. I found the help documentation and searched for which network types it could interface. The list was dazzling. This truly was a military-level machine. I found the standard I needed. It supported the city police band. According to the documentation, I could spoof a cop ID and transmit at a power level designated to walk over any cop handheld transmitter within a half-mile if need be. I set it to police scan. It took only a couple seconds for my interface to fill with police transmitter codes. I selected the closest. It would be easiest to drown out, and set the transmitter to maximum power. The Opumpopol null became warm against my skin. A warning came up. The use of the transmitter at current emission levels can result in burns to exposed skin. The manufacturer recommends the unit be placed on a flat surface with a chill mat during maximum operation. I toggled off the warning. The cop band filled my ears. Cops called for backup. Cops called for ambulances. Cops called they were done with their assignment. I toggled the microphone and said, "Assailant with gun on roof of building 1 west of Ivanova's on Sheridan. He just shot someone." The cop channel erupted with voices demanding I identify myself. I smelt smoldering cloth. My side felt as if it were on fire. I shut down the transmitter. There would be blisters. There couldn't not be. I bit my hand. The pain where the Opumpopol null touched my skin became unbearable. I tried to shift off it. The space was too tight. Tears ran down my cheeks as I bit my hand and choked back my screams. I heard a chopper swinging over the roof. The wash of its rotors filled the air with dirt. My face was covered with a thick layer of city scum. There's a dust in the city unique to the city, a fine powder made of skin cells, exhalations, exhaust, and oils. It's what happens when over 200 million people live on top of each other. Until today, I only dealt with it in clean rooms. It was the dust which coated the circuit boards of servers and clogged the filters on server air conditioners. A problem dealt with by IT techs, not something I usually came in contact with. Now, here, some 20 stories above the street, I lay coated in the free-floating waste of the city. There was nothing I could do about it but keep my eyes closed and pray the Opumpopol null cooled before my skin blistered. This work is released under Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Do what you want with it. Remix it, re-record it, transcribe it, share it. Just don't sell it or change the terms of the license. Your creation must be released under an Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.